Hello everybody, and welcome. Today we are starting a new game, the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Now as you saw, I've never played this game, but I have seen a few segments on streamers on YouTube, but only a little bit, not like a whole ton of it. So, we already went through the settings, so let's start the game. The end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Let's check the channel real quick.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building.
Title and category are good. Hello.
Title 427.
Okay, good.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
I want that job.
Others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came.
I actually wouldn't mind that job.
Exactly for this job.
If it paid well.
And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, why not?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright. You know, you can't complain too much. He's got his own office. It's small, but it's private. I put in the time, right? But it's not the time on the clock here. Alright. Well, 429 is not in their office. Can I interact? Interact. 428. What am I? 427? Okay. Oof.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Dude, is 432's job only to sharpen pencils? Man. Look how worn out these desks are. Man, I've seen that before. What's this? Oh. Meeting room, huh? Is that a meeting room? I hate Mondays.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
On my left. Alright. .413 has a nicer office. He has a plant. Huh. Can't see.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers. Yeah, that's about right. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic on the header. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Yeah. That's comforting. Number of slides on this slide. Slides, charts, charts, and slides. Rated which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please, no more charts. I'm begging. The Boss Appreciation Minute. On your Boss Appreciation Minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out in triplicate. Solving interpersonal conflict. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee, like yourself, it's too fast. What are your dreams for the future? Success. This is what did they call that? Like a dream slate or something. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Then let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively. Sounds about right. Where's that coming from? Oh. Okay. You know, it's good advice.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What the heck is down there?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy.
Yeah.
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense.
That's the rapture.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Fudge.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
Yeah!
He yelled. This is all a dream.
Of course.
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts.
This is very Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams. The truth was that, of course, This was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
Oh man,
Let me go back
I've
to
had
my
some
job.
of those.
Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Yeah.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh. Oh, man.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Sorry,
Mariella
Stanley.
woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Well, that's an end. The end is never the end. Fudge. Well, that was a nightmare. Can we get back to work? No. What time is it? Almost 10, right?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
How do I get in there? Oh.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I find it weird that the windows are like this. Alright. We went left. We went down the stairs. Let's go up the stairs this time.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
The stock market is somewhere here. What do people want? Things. What's this? Happy feelings. Wait, Violet James, you're fired. Money, more money. Things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs. Graphs about things and money. We have our new product. Okay, cool. What's this? What is hot? Profits. Yeah. A lot of percent. Size of demographic. Space between the... What? Space between the teenagers. Okay. Teenagers. Bi-quarterly post-review review. We need... What is that? Something reviews. More or less reviews. 402 plus 405. Want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule. But I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers. More water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenager demographic. Big net. Some sort of child trap. My gosh. Alright. Let's get out of here. Wait. To do. Synergize. Core value. Expenditures. Shift global market paradigm, right? Monetize free to play. Oh man, that's how they get you.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, we're not going downstairs again. Executive bathroom. Well, don't mind if I do. What? To be rich? Is it a crime? To commit crimes? Isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Alright. Extreme bathrooms. Hold on. Friends texting. Oh man, I have to charge my phone. Fudge. What are they texting about? 80s. Alright. Hold on a moment. Let me charge my phone. Okay, I'm back. Let's, how do we escape this? I feel this has a escape room kind of feel, right? So, as we have proven, we can open doors. So, we just have to try. Okay, this is the boss's office. Yeah. Wait, what is this?
Stepping into his manager's office,
Oh, fudge.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
2845.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Okay. 2, 8, 4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
What the heck is this? This is, Oh, what was that Jim Carrey movie? Where like, his whole town was a TV show? Oh, fudge. Okay.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Here, hold on a second. Let me send this to my friends, because this game is kind of interesting. Maybe they'll like it. Hold on a second. Alright, let's get back to the game. Fudge. Well, now. That's a something. What is this?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door of the red mind control facility.
Well, okay. Escape. Oh, fudge, but I want to see the mind control facility. We can escape or go through the mind. Let's go take a look. We might as well. Oh no, it's Cerebro, like in X-Men. Well, now, what the heck is this?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Fudge!
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
This was like, what was that thing in the Matrix when they meet that guy that's in control of everything?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Where's ours? It's like oh fudge, I can't remember the number now. It's like 237? to here? Oh no, is that ours? Well.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Alright.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
How? Oh man, I don't know how to turn this off. Oh, here, we could walk around it. Facility power. Big button. 5. That means there's another button, right? Let's not mess this up. Console disabled. Okay. 1. Two. Okay, that's a 1, 2. 5. Oh. 3. You would imagine 4 should be... Is it inside? Let's turn it back. We should see it from here, right? Those two are 1 and 2. Huh. Oh, it's so dark. Kinda lost. Oh man, disorienting. Why can't I find 4? I have to look for these lights. That's 3. 3. It's up there. How do I get up there? Stairs? It's so dark. Okay. Let's get around to the other side. That has to be it up there. It's just way too dark. Field of view, camera, controller. No. How do I make it brighter? Man, I should have not skipped through that really fast at the beginning. Audio. Ugh. Show reticle. Oh, is this stairs? It's so dark. I believe these are... I see stairs, but I don't know where it goes. Like on. 2, 1. Huh. Oh my gosh. It's just way too dark. Let's just go in here.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Mind controls, idle, awaiting input, system power. Guess we turn it off. We're free.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes, he had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
This is very philosophical.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
We beat the game trophy. No way, is that easy? Get your first trophy. Cool. Ah, fudge. Alright, I guess we beat the game. Alright. So apparently
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay. So I guess we just keep trying all the possibilities. Although we got the best
When
possibility.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Let's go back to that thing and then see what happens.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
when we turn
Stanley
on the
decided to go
power.
up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We didn't go in here last time. What the hell is that? Alright, I want to try... What happens when we turn on the power?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2, 8, 4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I want to do this too, but I want to see what happens when we turn on the power.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What is below us? Jeez.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
What's it say down there? Turn it back on.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted?
I want to get back to work.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go. Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
What?
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go.
5. Is there a 6?
I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
You have 3
running
attempts
from button
remaining.
to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door.
Console disabled.
Everything,
Enable
anything,
backup
something
power
here
to
will
activate.
save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along.
Oh, green
It's
5?
just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless.
Oh
To see
man,
you
I didn't
made.
realize.
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever up.
Fudge. There has to be a way to solve that. I just don't know what it is. Alright. Let's go for the escape route.
All of his
This
co-workers
time.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I need to remember the code.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze
What
in
was
his
it?
tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone?
It's something something
This was too
45.
much for Stanley to
2845?
take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from him. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
That's
Kind of
hilarious.
anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with
Oh,
some
man.
calming New Age music.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Alright, I'll relax. I'll relax, dude.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
They thought of everything. Wait, is there something else in here? It's like so much darkness. No? Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Not this time. Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, The truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Fudge.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No. You're just fooling us, dude.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Oh, for real? Okay.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Well, no. Well.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What's this? A Stanley parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Huh. Office layout. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. You know, it's our office right here. And then we go through here. We look at all the desks. Go through here, another group of desks. And then here, and then the two doors. Filing cabinets. This is very Matrix. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. This teaches you how to make games. And what is this? The two doors. The set of the two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Huh. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Oh. Stanley's computer. Nature paintings. This is wild. The office. Oh, cool, it's the credits. This is an interesting way to put the credits in the game. Office computers. They got solitaire. Office clock. Boss's office. Screens from the development of the boss's office. Oh. Mind control facility, underground.
Stanley pushed the orange lever. Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing? Stanley,
Kevin's
sound
writing.
plausible to you?
The voice of the
Stanley
narrator
stood on the snow.
recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2
Then he
years
pushed
of
the
development.
number 4.
These are clips from early takes that were not used in the final game.
Nothing there. Shoot. Stanley pushed the big red button.
Really has a whole museum of the development of the game. Freedom ending. Ah. What was that? Countdown desk. Oh. I don't think we've been to that. Freedom ending. Countdown room. Game design mock-up. Oh. 427. 427. Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second in March 2012, third in February 2013. Oh. Yeah, a bit jostled. From Anthony W. Subject. Wait. Asking the narrator. Well, the thing is I want to know is, what would you do if Stanley entered any other rooms? For instance, on a scale of... How surreal will this game be? Finally, the most important question. Well, congratulations. In line with our previous announcement regarding the ongoing promotion year is the result in... What is this? Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these for other promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those. Oh, so these are some people's emails about the game. Warzone? It's a Warzone? Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Huh. Maintenance room. I feel like this is something we should have had access to at the end of the game. Alright, I think we saw everything. There was one room in the back, right? What is this? Zending. The screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. This was the one with the buttons. Zending lovers. The game is now paused. Begin the game again. Okay. Escape menu. So much stuff. Apartment timer. What was that other thing? Meeting room. One option. Maintenance. Obey, disobey. First choice. Oh, this is how they mapped out the thing. We still haven't done the other door. We went this way. Yeah, we went this way. Yeah, we went here.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice.
Turn off the PlayStation.
Don't choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Aw, fudge. I wonder if there's people that actually turned off their PlayStation. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is different. These weren't colored before, right? Alright, now I'm uncomfortable because things are different.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh my god. Welcome to the whiteboard ending. What other options are there?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Oh. That's the meeting room, the 2 doors. Haha, this is fun. Alright, let's take a quick break right now. But where's that door? I think I want to go through here. Let's take a quick break. Let me type that in. Quick break. BRB. Oh. Alright. Grab a snack, grab a drink, stretch, and I'll be right back. Alright. I am back. Let's open up this Diet Pepsi. Da-da-dum. Alright, let's see what happens here. Welcome to the whiteboard ending. Oh, fudge, there's nothing. Dog mode. I guess we can't do anything. Fudge, I thought it would be a whole thing.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, so I think we did most of what can be done on the left. So let's try the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yeah. You know, we have a snack. Relax. Yeah.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yeah.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Oh no. I wonder how much is in here.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
More dialogue. No? No? Oh. Alright.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Wait, can we go? Okay. First open door on the left. But what's in here?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Caution, do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. What the hell is this? It's Amazon. Warning, do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Well, what is that?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. to let her back into your life.
What is
She's
this?
been waiting.
What are you talking about? Fudge.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Okay. How do I pick up the phone?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
That's
I'm trying to get
mean.
you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
The heck?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee 427. Press square on your controller.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through
Very
this fantasy
philosophical.
world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Please press triangle to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Press square to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Please press up to be at work in the morning. Fudge. There's nothing else we can do.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Man, we followed you at the beginning. Please press up to question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose.
We did get to the end.
We're not so different,
though,
I suppose.
And escape.
I'll try once
not
more
escape.
to convey all
We
this
got
to
to
him.
the
I'm compelled
turned off the
to.
mind control.
I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
Oh. Fudge. Yeah, sounds about right. Let me just get back to work, please. Okay.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
What is this? New content. Let me finish up that other thing.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, let's do that.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I know. Alright, let's just listen to this dude.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Fudge. We've done this.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I know there's a thing we didn't do, was this. Huh. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Fudge. All right.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Well. Oh, no. It's the same thing. Wait, did he say there's a new passageway? I don't know. Da-da-da-da.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Let's see if we can figure this thing out now.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Oh.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley... I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this means.
Need a blue
barely know
one
where
button.
to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
Incorrect.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
Green
I
5.
raised them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say
Button
this, though,
hint.
this version of events has been
Action
rather
button
amusing.
hint.
Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To
You have
hell
3
with it.
attempts
I'm going to
remaining.
put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah,
Or did
I
you
don't.
just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit,
Executing
looking
button
desperately
hint.
for a solution?
Graphic
10,
provided.
100, 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time
Incorrect.
you fail. Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal
Incorrect.
over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30
Goodbye.
seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life?
I
Or will
wonder
you let
what,
it go peacefully?
how to win that
Another
one.
choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Fudge. Oh, it's so difficult, man. Alright. Don't
All of his co-workers were gone.
don't
What could it
listen to
mean?
him this time.
Stanley decided to go
We
to
have
the
to
meeting room.
deviate
Perhaps
from
he had
the-
simply missed a memo.
New content later.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, we're gonna deviate from
And
this.
so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Okay.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Ha
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
What is this? Oh, we've been here.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Fudge. I feel like we've done everything except for that new content thing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait
a minute.
What? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh.
Happened?
Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Okay. Huh.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
Oh.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Aww. Alright. I think we're gonna call it here. And then we'll probably play more of this. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow afternoon. Yeah. But this is fun. I'm just a little brain tired of it. Alright, everyone. If you enjoyed this live or as a past broadcast, please consider giving me a follow and making a new friend. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear if you've played this game or how you're liking all these brain teasers. Oh man, and please check me out when I'm live here on Twitch. And to all my peacekeepers out there, a big peacekeeper salute to all of you. Peace angels in the chat. May the angels protect and guide you. Alright. I'll catch you all next time, everyone. Peace. I'll see you all soon.